You don't need experience to switch careers, you need proof. And here's the wild part, 90% of career switchers skip the one thing that actually gives it. They spend weeks polishing a resume that hiring managers barely glance at.
Right, and that's the trap. When you're switching fields, your resume is your weakest document by definition. It's a list of things you did in the old career, translated into hopeful buzzwords for the new one.
Exactly. A hiring manager reads aspiring marketer with transferable skills and their brain fills in the blank, no experience. You've basically handed them a reason to say no.
So the whole game changes when you stop trying to describe your ability and start showing it. That's what a proof project does. It's a tiny, public piece of work that demonstrates you can do the job, before anyone hires you to do it.
And I want to kill a myth right now, because this is the big one. Most people hear portfolio and think that's a designer thing, or a developer thing. Something for creatives with pretty visuals.
Completely wrong. A portfolio is just evidence. A marketer's proof project might be a teardown of a company's ad strategy. A project manager's might be a case study of how they'd rescue a delayed launch. Evidence has no dress code.
Let me put a number on why this matters. When you have zero direct experience, you and 100 other applicants all look identical on paper. Same optimistic summary, same online course certificates, same eager to learn.
And a certificate says you consumed information. A proof project says you produced something with it. Those are not remotely the same thing, and every hiring manager knows the difference.
So let's get concrete, because I think people nod along and then have no idea what to actually build. Give me a real example. Say someone's leaving teaching to get into UX or product.
Perfect case. They pick an app they use every day, say a food delivery app. They find one genuinely annoying part of it. Then they write up the problem, sketch a better version, and explain their reasoning. That's it. One flow, one problem, one solution.
And notice what just happened there. That former teacher is now speaking the language of the new field. Problem, user, solution, trade-offs. They stopped saying I'd be good at this and started proving it.
Here's another. Someone moving from retail management into data analytics. They grab a free public dataset, city bike rentals, movie ratings, whatever, and answer one interesting question with a chart and a paragraph.
One question. That's the key word. The mistake people make is going too big. They try to build a masterpiece, get overwhelmed, and finish nothing. A tiny project you actually complete beats a grand one you never ship.
That's the real secret, honestly. Done and public beats perfect and private every single time. A finished small thing living on the internet is infinitely more persuasive than a brilliant idea trapped in your head.
So let's talk about the anatomy of a proof project that actually lands, because there's a structure that works. First, pick a real problem in your target industry, not a made-up one.
Second, show your thinking, not just the result. Hiring managers care more about how you reason than the final polish. Walk them through what you tried, what failed, what you do next.
Third, make it findable. A simple web page, a public doc, a LinkedIn post, a short write-up. If they have to ask you for it or dig for it, most won't bother.
And fourth, connect it to their world. If you're targeting a specific company, do the project about their product or their industry. Suddenly you're not a generic applicant, you're someone who already did homework on them.
Which is where this gets almost unfair, in the best way. Imagine you're the hiring manager. 2 candidates. One writes passionate about your mission. The other sends a 2-page teardown of your actual product with 3 concrete improvements.
There's no contest. The second person already changed the conversation. The interview stops being, "Can you do this job?" and becomes, "When can you start?" The proof reframes everything before you even walk in the room.
And this handles the objection I know people are screaming at their screen, but I don't have time to build stuff, I have a full-time job and a life. Fair. So let's shrink it.
A proof project can be a weekend. Seriously. One afternoon to pick the problem, one to build the rough version, one to write it up. You're not launching a startup. You're producing one credible piece of evidence.
And here's a bonus most people miss: the project becomes your networking icebreaker too. Instead of messaging strangers, "Can I pick your brain?" you send them your work and ask for feedback. Way harder to ignore.
That is such a good point. Asking for feedback on something real flatters people and shows initiative at the same time. Half those conversations quietly turn into referrals.
Let's also address quality, because I don't want people shipping garbage. It doesn't need to be professional grade. It needs to be honest and thoughtful. A rough project with sharp thinking beats a slick one that's shallow.
And every project makes the next one easier. Your first might take a full weekend and feel clumsy. By your third, you've got a small body of work, a point of view, and a story that sounds like someone already in the field.
So let's tie the bow on this. The resume tells them what you used to be. The proof project shows them what you already are. For a career switcher, that flip is the entire ballgame.
So this week, don't reformat your resume for the 10th time. Pick one small problem in the field you want, spend a weekend solving it, and put it somewhere people can see it. That single move puts you ahead of 90% of switchers.